Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Ido Agassi and today I'm going to make a notepad from this pile of high quality scrap paper. I will also make a hardcover folder to put the notepad inside. My niece is a pastry chef and she asked me for a small notepad that you can write recipes and things inside. And what kind of an uncle would I be if not to fulfill her wishes? Although this paper is folded into signatures and that can allow me to make a more complex stitch to the spine, I want to make it as simple as possible, and there's a good reason for that. The reason is I want to inspire you to make one for yourself. So with an idea in mind, let's bind. I'm going to start by bringing a piece of wood. You can see all the holes from previous works. I will bring 5 signatures and that gives me around 80 pages, and also a piece of paper, a thicker one, that is exactly cut to the same size. By the way, the size is 16 on 7 centimeters, but of course you can use any size you like, and you can also reuse materials like from food packaging. Now I'm going to locate it on my wood, and I'm going to bring my weights to give me a straight line, but you can also improvise with just a clamp to hold everything or 2 of them, but I'm going to use my weights. Let me put it here and I'm going to slide it aside. And what I want to do is cut a paper for the template. So I'm going to line up to my inside paper, hold a ruler, take my knife and cut. Now I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to line it up on my cutting mat because this is 1 centimeter. I'm going to put my ruler between the marks here and mark a line. Now I'm going to mark 2 centimeters from this side and 2 centimeters from this side. Again, very simple, just 2 marks for 2 holes. I'll slide back the wood, and that's why I like to work on a piece of wood, not just to protect your working surface, but also because you can move it around without moving the papers. So I'm going to locate my template on the edge here. I'll put my weight on it so it won't move. I'll move it like this so the light would be okay and no shadow. And I'm going to take my awl, put it in the first hole. I'm going to lift my arm, try to have a 90-degree angle, and then go inside. I'm going with a twisting movement. You can also hold, you see, I'm spreading my fingers and holding it and just trying. The awl would be perpendicular. And I'm going to do the hole on the other side, just with a twisting movement, and the pressure is from the whole arm. I'm using the weight of my whole body and I'm just bending my knees, and that gives me a lot of pressure inside. I'll take out the awl. Now I'm going to slide it to the edge of the wood and slide it to the edge of the table so it would be much easier to sew. I'll move my weight back here and move this completely aside, and don't forget to take out the template. I'm going to bring my thread. I'm going to use linen thread and I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3 times and just a bit more. I'll cut it, bring my needle, do my needle trick. 3 centimeters from the edge, I'm inserting the needle inside the thread, pulling back, and it's connected and nothing interferes with the sewing. Now I'm going to start from the bottom side up. Just put the beginning on the paper and just repeat the process from the bottom side up. Now when I'm pulling, I'm just holding the edge of the thread. I'm going around one side and back to the same hole. Now I'm going to the next hole, around the spine. Again, this is with signatures, but you of course can do it just with a pile of papers. That is why I'm showing you this method. Around the other side and back to the same hole. Okay, up until now, I'm going to flip over. Let me straighten this up. I'm going to put my needle underneath the thread here, and that will allow an anchor. I'm going to release the beginning and make a double knot. Very simple. Once and twice. I'll bring my scissors and I'm going to cut. And although this is the back side of a notepad, I want it nice, so that is why I'm going to take my awl and just insert the knot inside my hole so the edges of the thread won't be seen. So you need a little bit of patience. You just take the edge of your awl and just insert it inside. Beautiful. I love this Japanese stitch. In the next stage, I want to make the outer folder to just put the notepad inside. But before we do that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with an extensive library of classes for creators like you and me. Classes on art and illustrations, photography, graphic design, of course, bookbinding, and much more. I was very happy that Skillshare approached me with this sponsorship because I have great things to say about this platform. I actually started as a member. I wanted to expand my knowledge in videography and video production, and I discovered a platform full of quality content in so many subjects. It felt like an ocean of knowledge, and for me as a creator, it was a great discovery. And as a member, you can watch everything. Actually, inspired by those talented teachers, I became a teacher myself. One of my classes on Skillshare is about how to make a Japanese binding. This class will take you step by step with clear explanations and detailed shots to give you a better view on the binding process and help you create your own special book. The first 500 people to press my link in the description or scan the QR code here will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I'll move on to creating the hardcover folder. What I did is I cut it 1 centimeter on width more and 0.5 centimeter more on the length. So if I'll bring my notepad, you can see that if it starts here, it has 0.5 centimeter all around. What I did also is cut the thick paper that it would fit exactly into size, but 1.5 centimeter less on this side. About the gap between, what I recommend you to do is put everything together, and I'll measure. I see it's 1.2, nearly 1.3, so I'm going to do it 1.5 centimeter gap because of the thickness of the material. I'll move this aside and I'm going to bring my cover material. This is scrap material I found in a bindery. I don't usually use this kind of a material because I don't like the plasticky finish to it. But there's a reason I'm choosing this, because it is washable. Usually I don't have water around my working surface, but if I'll add water to it, this is washable. And that's a great thing to have around your kitchen. So I'll let it dry for a bit and flip it over. And as you can see, it's not completely straight, but I'm going to trim it afterwards. I'll bring 2 weights and they will act as stoppers. I'll bring my first board. I'll take my glue brush and glue one side. And when I'm gluing from the inside out. I will locate it here. Let me flip it over. Flip it back. And now I said I want 1.5 centimeter gap. This ruler is 1.5 centimeter. So that's exactly what I need. And I'm going to glue the other side up until the end. Bring it to the ruler and to my weight that acts as a stopper. I see everything is aligned and I'm connecting it. I'll take the ruler out, flip it over and connect. And now I'm going to trim it with the ruler. I'll hold it like this and cut here and cut here all around. Flip this over. Let me trim this one. The reason there is an angle is just because this is scrap material. And now what I'm going to do is bring the paper, make sure it is straight. I'll take my pencil and just mark a line here, and that would indicate the inner material where I want it to go to. Now I'll measure. I want it around, let's say 6 centimeters. I want to start a little bit before and a little bit after. So I'll line it up here and cut a strip of 6 centimeters. And now I want exactly the width of the board. So I'll take my board, line it up, and cut. I'll bring a piece of waste paper, glue my piece all the way. And now I'm going to bring it just a bit before my pencil mark. Take my bone folder, go to one side of the board, inside the gap, and to the other side. Usually I'm doing it afterwards, the inner spine, but this time, because we are going to connect another piece, I'm going to turn in the material after making the inner spine and putting the paper here. You'll see in a second. It's a different material. I can feel it acts differently than my usual bookbinding cloth. Great. I'll move this aside, and now what I'm going to do is just glue this piece to the material so I'll have the same color. So I'm going to glue the paper. Again, this paper you can reuse from food packaging. It would work the same. You can also glue the side that is printed on, and when you glue it to the material, nobody will know and nobody can tell. Put it like this, flip it over, and here I'm going to trim up until the end, so I'm just going around the material. I'll bring my bone folder and connect. Okay, now I'm going to bring my binding and the piece that we just made, and now you can see the board inside. I do want to put something that would lift it a little bit, so I'll just put a piece of paper underneath, and for it not to move for you, what I'm going to do is just on the edge glue not more than 0.5 centimeter, and that would just help me when I'm working so this piece won't move. I want to make sure it is straight, so I'll bring my weight to make sure it is exactly touching the edge. I'll connect it with a bone folder. This is not a must, but we don't want it to move, okay? And now I'm going to trim the edges. I'll bring my corner jig. If you don't know how to make this jig, I will link a video about how to make a corner jig. And I'm going to cut all around. Because this jig is for this thickness of board and this is a little bit bigger, I'll take it a little bit back, so I will for sure cover the corners here and cut. Now, this is very important. I'm going to cut the material just at the place of the joint here, making a small cut. So that would allow me to fold it separately, and then we'll have a gap between this and this. Bring my waste paper underneath, and I'm going to glue the entire piece up until the end. Take the waste paper out, and I'm going to start from this side, using my bone folder to give a straight edge to the perpendiculars, and then turning it in like so, connecting it nicely here. I'll work the corner, take this out for a second, and I'm going to glue the other side, connecting it, going inside the gap and after the gap before my small pocket here. Now I'll work the corner. I'll put the paper back inside, flip it over, and I'm going to glue the second long side up until the end. Take the waste paper out, and again I'm going to start with the back side, connecting the turn-ins, working the corner, just inserting the material to the short side. I'll take the paper out, and I'm going to connect the other side. Going on the board, inside the gap on both sides, and up until my cut. Again, you should remember that this side you won't see it because the notepad is going to be here, but we are always aiming for perfection and that everything would look neat and nice. I'll move it like this, and I'm going to connect it. And a piece of waste paper for the last side. I'll glue it. Take the waste paper out and connect. And the last thing I want to do is glue another piece for the inside. Let's do it 14.5. So this is 15, 14.5 would be here. I'll cut it. It's amazing that everything is from scraps, right? I'll take a piece of waste paper, glue it from the top, working my way down, moving my finger here, lifting, taking the waste paper aside, and now I'm going to do it with my eye. More or less this is straight here and here. Can move it a bit to the top. Something like this would be nice. I'll connect it with a bone folder. And now the moment of truth. Let me take my notepad. I'm going to insert it inside up until the end. Let me close it. Wow. Looks great. You can open it, you can let it stand, you can hold it like this. I love it. It is beautiful, simple, and practical. But if you are looking for a more complex bookbinding project, watch this video next. Thank you for being here and for watching. Consider subscribing if you are interested in things related to bookbinding, to box making, to notepads, and much more. And I'll see you in my next video.